What's going on, guys? Jackson here with another video, and today I wanted to talk about container growing and why I think it's a great alternative for those who want to grow something. They don't really feel like they have enough space, and they don't think they have the right place to grow something year-round. So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Guys, so I'm going to start off over here in the big tree area, and as you can see, all these guys are in rows. It's super nice to have these guys in rows. I can hand water a lot easier, and eventually I'm going to get a drip system going so I can have the drips going through the lanes. But for right now, I'm going to talk about container growing, and the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that it saves space. So as you can see, I have all these trees right here, and they're all in fairly close proximity, but the fact that they're in containers, I can keep them a little closer, because if they were in ground, the roots are going to spread out, they're going to grow a lot faster, and therefore it just wouldn't be an optimal area for growing. But since I have them in containers, I can keep them close together, and it's no big deal. Another thing I want to say is the fact that I can move these trees wherever I wanted. If I didn't like this area in the winter, I can move these trees into a more sunny area, or vice versa. If it was too hot and I need to move them into the shade, I can do so whenever. So that is a really good thing. If you don't have the best growing areas all the time, then you can move things around and make it more versatile. Like, for example, the miracle fruit tree, I've been moving that inside during the winter because they are kind of cold sensitive, so that comes inside during the winter, which is nice since it's in a container. Another thing that I want to talk about with regards to these pots is the fact that weeds are generally to a minimum in pots, because the soil that you're going to be using is a sterile soil, mostly stuff you're getting from Lowe's and whatnot that's sterile, has no seeds in it. So that and mulching, it's going to alleviate the need for weeding quite a bit. Unlike right here, as you can see, there's a lot of weeds, but I've never mulched this really. So I'm gonna weed this and then mulch it, and it'll be all good to go. But that's something we want to think about. I just want to let you guys know that there is a little, it looks like this Meyer lemon sign is going to take, so that's pretty cool. Another thing in terms of soil is that you can grow trees that might not be good for your soil in the container, and you can grow the things that you like in a container that might not do well for you year-round outside. So like, again, like the miracle fruit tree, I can move that in, but also I can keep the soil requirements for the trees more consistent than the outside soil conditions are going to do for certain trees. Another thing, some trees like to be in pots, some don't. Jaboticaba do. They really like to be root bound, and they fruit a lot quicker when they're root bound. So that's a reason why people keep them in pots more often than not. But as we saw in the last video that I had, there were 2 Jaboticaba at Quarry Lakes, and they were doing just happy and dandy and fine over there, getting a little bit of love, but probably not quite a lot. So that is, that's something to think about. Does the tree that you want to grow do well in a pot? Does it not? You can look all these things up, but I'd say mostly stone fruit is something you want to stay away from. A lot of people like stone fruit around here, so I'm just saying, if you were thinking about doing stone fruit in a pot, I'd really reconsider it. What else? A drawback with the soil, though, is that you're gonna have to refeed these plants 2 or 3 times a year, because the fact that it has holes at the bottom means that the soil and the nutrients is going to flow right to the bottom and flow out of your pot. So eventually, you know, there's not going to be a lot of nutrients in the pot. So that's kind of a drawback. You are also going to have to uppot these trees eventually. So that kind of stinks, but for certain, you know, it takes a while for a tree to get root bound. So, you know, every few years you're going to want to repot, but generally it's going to be fine for the most part. Also, depending on the tree, you're going to have to know how fast your tree grows and whatnot. But that is something you're going to have to think about. Wasting pots is another thing, but then again, I reuse all my pots. I grow lots of plants all the time, so well, I don't grow lots of plants. Eventually, it'll be a lot of plants. But what I like to say, or what I'm trying to say, is that, you know, all the pots that I use are going to be reused eventually, so it's really no big deal to have a surplus of pots, because eventually those are going to be used, and I'll probably not have any pots. And if you guys want to give me pots, then, you know, I'm happy to take them. So yeah. Also, you're gonna have to water these trees a little bit more often. Pots dry out a lot quicker than in ground, if you didn't know. So that's something you're gonna have to come out and check often, and all you're gonna do is just scrape away, and if it looks dry, then you're gonna want to re-soak it. But this looks okay. It's getting dry. It'll probably need to be watered again tomorrow, or watered tomorrow. I didn't water it today, but you know, it's just something to think about. You're gonna have to kind of keep on these guys a little bit more than usual. But you know, if you have a drip system or something like that, which I will eventually have, then there won't be much of a problem. But yeah, if I have anything that I didn't discuss in this video, please let me know in the comments section down below. I don't think I got everything that was important, but you know, I tried to get what I could, because I, you know, thought this was pretty good to talk about. I did move the greenhouse, so I kind of want to show you guys that just really quick. I will be doing another update video on just everything that's growing on around here in probably the next video. So let's go walk over to the greenhouse. Okay, so I'm over at the greenhouse. Let me unzip it. And look at here. We got all the little guys in here doing quite nice. I got the automatic misters going twice a day. I gotta change that, but I just want to show you guys that everything in here is in here, and I will probably do an update video in here for the next video. There's a lot of stuff that I did that I haven't shown you guys. I do post a lot of that sort of stuff on my Instagram, so if you guys want to follow me on that, you can. Jackson_D'Andres. But yeah, I think this just needs a video in itself. So yeah. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. Another versatile thing you can, oh shoot, oops, that's not good. Another versatile thing you can do with your plants is you can use them to protect yourself. So like jab, you know, at your fender, you can chuck it at them if you want. But yeah, that's something you can do. I gotta fix this to the lemongrass right here, and water that in too. But yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.